following is a presentation of the National Sim Racing League of America. Enjoy the race. Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and this is race number 9 in season number 7 of the NRLOA Chick-fil-A Cup Series. We are here at the Richmond International Raceway for the Norfolk Southern 400. 80 laps of action around this 3/4 of a mile racetrack in Richmond, Virginia. And it's going to be fascinating here today with pit stops, possible cautions, even possible 3 wide around this place. And the tests that I had here, they were going 3 wide rather consistently, so we're up for a very good show here tonight. Alongside Trey Wright for this race, who is the owner of Al Legacy, the defending winner of this event. So what does it take to win at a place like Richmond, where passing's difficult, but crashes can be ultra frequent? We saw a race at Martinsville earlier this season with Nathan Stapleton winning that one, only leading 2 laps, so is it more so staying out of trouble, or do you want to dominate this thing?
Well, I'd say you want to stay out of trouble. That's probably the big thing. I mean, Al Legacy, he started last in last year's race, and he ended up getting the win. And last year's race was plagued with wrecks, so I'd say just keep your nose clean, don't start anything, and you'll get a good finish.
Definitely, and you got to be careful if you're the leader here, especially if a crash happens right in front of you. I mean, this is a bigger place than Martinsville, but we could still see similar issues like we saw at Martinsville earlier this season, so you might want to watch for that here today. Richard Kinghart starting on the pole, got the fastest time in qualifying yesterday. This is how they line up in the points standings coming into today's event. John Stewart is the points leader, took it back from Brad Stover after the race at Rockingham. Stewart has 252 points towards the championship. Brad Stover is 6 points behind. Roger Ray and Cody Sill, they're both 19 points behind, tied for third. And Ace Garcia, 33 points behind coming into today's event. Let's go ahead and see what happens in this one. But we can't go ahead and see what happens until we get those engines fired. So let's head trackside for the command in the Norfolk Southern 400 at Richmond.
Drivers, start your engines!
And a great command there to fire these guys up for the 9th time this season here at the Richmond Raceway. And we got ourselves the 47 of Richard Kinghart starting on the pole for tonight's event. Alongside him, Jalar Alonso, his best starting position of the season for Zach Ryan International in his retirement season. Looking to get his 2nd career Chick-fil-A Cup Series victory here today. Patrick Smith in the 66. He's going to be starting alongside the 92 car of Ace Garcia, trying to rebound after he was very strong at the beginning of the season. Fell out of the chase. He's back in the 5th in the point standings. And another good finish could possibly shoot him up to the points lead. Row number 3, Aaron Walpole will be starting alongside Zachary Fitzwater in that row. A couple of veterans right there. Number 33 of Matthew Phillips will be starting alongside our points leader, John Stewart. And we got ourselves Justin Roberts, the Riverside winner, alongside Cookie Helms in the number 18, the uncharted driver for Hamill Racing Enterprises, starting here today for his 2nd race of the season. It's going to be an interesting one here at Richmond. 80 laps of action, short track racing on a Friday night. It's going to be fun here. And the Norfolk Southern 400 is about to get underway. Richard Kinghart, Jalar Alonso, green flag in the air here at Richmond. Lap 1 led by Richard Kinghart, but Patrick Smith is not too far behind. That inside lane is strong, and that's the place to be. Just like Martinsville, the inside lane is the strong and preferred line. It's hard to get too much of a run up top. And you're going to see these guys hug that yellow line throughout this race here tonight. Richard Kinghart able to pull away just a little bit. He leads lap 2 here at Richmond.
Yeah, as you can see, they're starting to fan out a little bit. Walpole and Phillips battling for, I believe that is the
third position right there. Matthew Phillips trying to take it away from the 34 of Aaron Walpole. And you got Justin Roberts and Trey Bartow right here in the number 4. How about Bartow? I haven't really talked about him too much this season, other than the fact that he's had a tough season here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. But he's the Norfolk Southern fan, so it'd be pretty fitting for him to win this race if he can in fact do so. And around, Jonathan Wong in the 39, Garrett Zenor on the outside wall, and Nicholas Samadio, they're piling up, entering turn 3. My goodness.
Ew. That's a lot of back-end damage.
Tough break for Garrett Zenor, Season 3 winner here at Richmond. It looks like Jake Jefferson was caught up in something as well, and Jonathan Wong was the first driver to go around in the 39. He got spun by somebody, and that'll definitely create a very interesting scenario on this one. Christian Vargas with front-end damage to his 06 machine. And we'll see who decides to come down the pit lane here. And we'll see how this affects the whole race. Some guys are staying in. Oh, and they're jamming up. Looks like Elijah Gordon with some heavy rear-end damage to his machine. And looks like they might have piled it up entering the pit lane. Ace Garcia has heavy damage. Oh, my. Somebody brake-checked in front of these guys and created a little bit of a jam there between two championship contenders. But anyways, Richard Kinghart, first down the pit lane. He will not be first on the restart as Justin Roberts wins the race off. But quite a few guys stayed out, including the number 34 of Aaron Walpole, who will be the leader once we restart. He, along with John Stewart, Season 2 winner here at Richmond, Matt Dalio, Cameron Garlington, and Andrew Miller, the top 5. And pretty good amount of drivers stayed out there, so it's going to create for an interesting race with all this pit strategy going on. We saw this at Martinsville. We might see it again here tonight at Richmond. But anyways, kind of see what happened between Elijah Gordon and Ace Garcia. I did not see Garcia coming back out. He is getting tires. It looks like he's going to try to continue in the 92, but it's a tough break for him. Not entirely sure what happened. Let's go ahead and see what happened to bring out the first caution here tonight at Richmond. So right here, you're going to see Garrett Zenor in the 38 try to peek to the inside of Jonathan Wong, and Zenor being a little aggressive in the American Motorsports machine. Cody Sills right here as well. He's only 19 points off our points leader here in this one. And you're going to see that 39 go around, and Zenor comes back up, gets into Michael Canto. Cody Sill gets into Isaac Nichols, and it's on from there. Nicholas Samadio in the 24 hits the 38. And that might accumulate enough damage to knock Samadio out. Don't see too much damage on that 24. See, Christian Vargas got hit there, and so did Blaine Keys, Wade Enterprises teammates right there, getting caught up in this one as they hit the outside wall. And you're going to see Roger Ray and Alexander Rowe also scrape the outside wall too.
Yeah, it's just aggressive driving early. You're going to see, Jay Jefferson barely got clipped by Jesse Turner. He barely missed the water barrels.
Yeah, they were a little slippery on that apron. The transition from the apron to the racetrack's rather difficult here at Richmond, and they almost went around, but they saved it, so good job by those guys keeping it together.
So you can see Jonathan Wong, we see in real time, just got spun by the 38. That creates a log jam. He almost goes upside down, and just nowhere for the 06 and 64 to go. Zenor should be able to continue, but he's got a lot of rear end damage. You can see Jefferson and Garcia going through the grass. These guys work cut out for him. So do a lot of guys.
Definitely, and this is what happened here. We're going to see Ace Garcia and Elijah Gordon. Oh, wow. John Stewart's not trying to come down, and yeah, he does not take to that too kindly. And he ended up spinning the 5, so that's what happened there. And Ace Garcia just runs right into him. Wow. So Garcia, I mean, that was all on him right there. He did not slow down in time. and ran right into the defending champion. But John Stewart, that would normally warrant a penalty if John Stewart was actually in control of his race car, but since it's just a computer, there really isn't any point in calling a penalty, so that's just the way it goes, and John Stewart will restart second here at Richmond, but it's Aaron Walpole leading the field for American Motorsports. Let's see what he does on the restart here in the Norfolk Southern 400 at Richmond. We are back here at the Richmond Raceway, and it's Aaron Walpole in the number 34, who has not won a race in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series in Season 3 at Texas, the second Texas race we had back in Season 3. And he's looking to get a win for American Motorsports here tonight with his owner in the booth, so we'll see what he can do on the restart here with John Stewart, Matt Dalio, Cameron Garlington, and Andrew Miller, the top 5. A lot of great drivers looking to get a win, looking to get their first wins of the season. We're back to racing here at Richmond. John Stewart holding on to second, Matt Dalio and Cameron Garlington right behind him. It's a Ford leading and then 3 Dodges right behind, and it's going to be a pretty decent fight to the finish here, I think, in this one. I don't think we're going to see too many cautions in this race, especially considering the single-file restarts. Last season, we had double-file restarts, and we had those lap-down cars starting on the inside. This season, we don't, so that's going to definitely keep it a little cleaner out here today for this event. Matt Dalio for second on John Stewart. If there's anybody who needs a good finish, Matt Dalio is one of those guys. Outside the top 30 in points coming into today's event. He'd love to get another win here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, and he's up to second. But Cameron Garlington, the Season 6 Daytona 500 champion and the Season 3 Chick-fil-A Cup Series champion, will battle with another Chick-fil-A Cup Series champion for the second position. And while all that's going on, Aaron Walpole is just saying goodbye. I'm going to take this one away from you guys.
Yes, he has dominated. I think that strategy to stay out on that last caution, that should get him pretty comfortable lead. We see some contact between Stewart and Sill back in the pack.
Matt Dalio able to clear those guys as they almost went 3 wide off the corner. But Matt Dalio is going to hold on there, and John Stewart will fall back to the 5th position. Cody Sill doing a pretty decent job so far, and I'm going to mention this guy right here. Jordan Carter started last. He's in the top 10 right now for only 14 laps here at Richmond. Great run for Jordan Carter in this one so far, and see what he can do here as this race goes along. Trying to think who won the race off. It was Justin Roberts. He's stuck on the outside here. Here's Richard King on our pole sitter, all the way back in 17th right now. So a lot of guys stayed out, and it's going to really mess with a lot of these guys on the pit strategy here today and mess with who wins this race. Aaron Walpole doing a great job. No battles alongside him, keeping him in the lead, but all these guys battling for second place is allowing Aaron Walpole to pull away even more. Matt Dalio holds on to second. John Stewart back to the inside of Cameron Garlington. The battle for second is intense as these guys try to close in on Aaron Walpole for the lead.
Yeah, it's good to see that 34 on top of the pylon, but I'm not trying to be biased here, but not Jesse Turner, Matt Dalio, he seems to have cleared those other guys, and he's got the 34 in his periscope.
Yeah, he's trying to close in, and he's doing a pretty good job of it. Remember, Season 2 winner here at Richmond quite a while ago when that race ran, but he's got a good draft right now on the 34, and he is closing in pretty fast. These guys go pretty fast. They're going a lot faster here tonight than the Turkey Hill Series drivers did at the original version of Richmond, so watch out for that. These guys can probably close in a little bit easier. We've been seeing a lot more crazy racing than we saw on Wednesday night in the Turkey Hill Series, so definitely a fascinating one so far here at Richmond. Cookie Helms to the inside of Cody Sill. That is for the 6th position. And Trey Bartow looking to take 7th away from the 37 as Cody Sill got stuck on the outside. Like I said earlier on, the outside lane is not the place to be. It's hard to get a run up there here at Richmond, and we're seeing that happen with all these guys. Got Nathan Stapleton on the outside, and he's getting passed by the number 7, driven by Andrew Miller. Now, the last time Nathan Stapleton ran this scheme, it was at Martinsville, and he got the win. Maybe he'll get another win here tonight. Of course, he only led 2 laps at Martinsville. Doesn't take too many laps led to get a win in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. It only takes the last one. But Aaron Walpole has so far led the most laps in this race for American Motorsports. That team trying to get their first win of the season. And he's holding on pretty well at the moment, but he's battling with Matt Delia right now in the number 79, and he is drafting him down the backstretch, and they have called it down up front, mainly single file, as Garlington runs in the 3rd position with John Stewart and Jordan Carter.
Yeah, and Delio has closed the gap significantly with Walpole. As you can see, they're coming into turn 1. Garlington, he has fallen back as they are catching lap traffic.
This could be very interesting. That is Ace Garcia in the number 92. And everybody's still on the racetrack. Ace Garcia is a lap down, and Garrett Tenor ahead of him is 2 laps down. But we still have 42 drivers racing here at Richmond right now, and that's a lot of cars to fit around a pretty small racetrack like this one. Number 34, Aaron Walpole, dives to the inside of Ace Garcia, but Dalio's gonna open the hole right behind him as well and close into the inside. Matt Dalio goes on Aaron Walpole, and he's gonna take it. That is a veteran move right there by the veteran driver. Of course, both of these guys veterans, but Dalio has been in every single season. Walpole hasn't raced since season 3, and here we go. Matt Dalio to the point here at Richmond in the Norfolk Southern 400.
That was a textbook move by Dalio. He just waited for 34 to let go, just try to and just wait for him to let the 92 slow up. He grabbed the advantage, and now he's leading.
He definitely is. Ace Garcia got in the way and slowed down that 34 just enough so that Dalio could pass him. And now it is the veteran driver, the Season 4 champion, looking to get his first win since Rockingham in Season 6. And it's had a tough season so far, looking to get that first win here for NRLOA Motorsports at Richmond. So it's Dalio, Walpole, Garlington, Jordan Carter, John Stewart, Cookie Helms, Justin Knight. For the Zach Ryan International team is 7th with Andrew Miller, Julio Caesar in the 95, and Brad Stover trying to take the points lead away from John Stewart, but he's currently behind him right now, so he can't quite do that. He's only 6 points behind Stewart coming into this race, and he's right now in the top 10. He's been doing a flawless job this season in that number 99. Almost got the win at Texas, just could not beat out Zachary Fitzwater, but it's been a good season for the rookie driver, it's been a good season for John Stewart too, but it's also been a good season for Brad Stover and the Titan Fury Motorsports team, as I believe they lead in the owner's points coming into this event. So Brad Stover trying to keep that team alive, and of course Cameron Garlington doing so as well, as he's 3rd right now for Titan Fury in the number 13.
Yeah, and they should be getting to pit stops in probably 5 or 10 laps. I'm not sure what the pit window is.
I would assume it'd be about 70, or no, it's not 70. Yeah, that's a little too much. About 30-some laps. I say about maybe 36, 37 laps. So for these guys, I'd expect about maybe 8 more laps, and they'll be probably coming down. Those guys who came down under the caution, however, oh boy, we might have had a little bit of an issue, and I think we did. So we might just get our pit stops right here, and we will. That's Richard Kinghart, and Vargas just arc-braked right into Alonso, and that's going to end the day for the 40. That is tough for him, and our leader's coming back around.
That was close.
Oh, boy. Looks like they kept it together there, but everybody racing back. The caution is out, as Alonso, I think, had an issue in the number 40. And that's great news for Matt Dalio and all those guys who stayed out under the first caution, because they're going to be able to come right down with everybody else, because I don't really see those guys who came down earlier staying out here to get the lead for just a couple of laps before they have to come down again. So here we go. Matt Dalio, Aaron Walpole, Cameron Garlington, and Jordan Carter down the pit lane. Let's see how this all goes down here for officially the first set of pit stops in this race. For the first set of pit stops for these guys leading the field here at Richmond. Now, there'll still be another set in this one before we're done, but there should only be one more after this one. So these guys going a 2-stop race here at Richmond here tonight.
Yeah, you can see Jesse Turner. He's going to get 4 tires, fill it up. Not sure if he's going to get like a chassis adjustment, but should come out pretty good.
A little bit of an issue.
No.
Yeah, they got an issue there. He came off a lot slower than everybody else. So Matt Dalio, he's going to fall through the field. They had an issue on their pit stop, and Aaron Walpole will inherit the lead back from him with Cameron Garlington, Justin Knight up to the 3rd position. Jordan Carter and Andrew Miller, the top 5 off the pit lane. So let's go ahead and see what happened to bring out the first, or the second caution, I should say, here in the Norfolk Southern 400 at Richmond. let's go ahead and see what happened to Hergel Arvin Alonso. So there was a mechanical issue on the number 40 of Hergel Arvin Alonso, and actually took a while for the caution to come out because all these guys, they really weren't spinning anybody around, but you obviously see something amiss on that machine. Turner goes around and they stack up behind him. It was Jesse Turner and John Arndt who kind of stacked it up there. Rakowski, and you're going to see number 40 is Vargas, who ran right into the 40. And you see our pole sitter, Richard Kinghart, he was like right behind that, couldn't get around the 40. When Vargas came, he opened the door and just went right by. But that's what happened there to the 40 of Hergel Arvin Alonso, our outside pole sitter with a heavy issue in this one. And looks like they did get it fixed. He'll be starting on the tail end of the lead lap once we restart here at Richmond.
So you can see he obviously is trying to come down pit road. Could have a flat. That just stacks up the entire field. You'll see Turner. He gets hit by Arndt, I believe. Yeah, that's John Arndt. Just gets hit by the 47 of Kinghart. You're going to see Vargas comes in here, no brakes. And unfortunately, that does end the 40 car's day, I believe.
He actually did get back out there, so it's not the end of the day for Alonso, but he's not going to get the win, unfortunately, for Zach Ryan International. And you see Matt Dalio. I'm wondering if they took a little bit more time on the pit stop because he hit the apron there on the cool-down lap. These guys were coming right in on that incident. Thankfully, none of the leaders got involved in anything. But Matt Dalio is not going to be the leader once we restart. It's going to be Aaron Walpole once again. Won the race off the pit lane. Let's see what he does on the restart here in the Norfolk Southern 400. We are back here at the Richmond Raceway. We're going to restart on lap 36 of 80 here in the Norfolk Southern 400. Aaron Walpole won the race off the pit lane after Matt Dalio had a slow stop. I believe they were checking something on that 79, so he fell back to 10th. It's Cameron Garlington, Justin Knight, Jordan Carter, Andrew Miller, Julio Caesar, Brad Stover, Cody Sill, Juan Garcia, and Matt Dalio, the top 10. Here we go for the restart. And Alonso on the tail end of the lead lap. See what he does to affect Aaron Walpole.
So you can see that going down the back straightaway. Walpole is trying to get around that 40 car. He doesn't seem to be clogging up the field like I expected, so not sure if they put some nitrous oxide on that 40 car so it'll go faster, but he's definitely not doing what I expected, but the field is spreading out quite a bit.
Definitely is, and Walpole able to hang on to the lead as they battle for second once again. Justin Knight on Cameron Garlington, Brad Stover, Garlington's teammate. He's going to move up to the third position here. Walpole is still yet to get around Alonso. We'll check and see where Alonso is. He's already a lap down. He's about to go 2 laps down in the number 40, with Garrett Sonor and Ace Garcia the only guys multiple laps down. Everybody is still out there on the racetrack, however, so it's still pretty much anybody's game here at Richmond. We're not even halfway through this race yet, and it's definitely been interesting so far. Walpole will finally dive to the inside of Alonso and put him 2 laps down, and put a lapped car in between him and second place Justin Knight. So that's exactly what Walpole wants to do, and he's going to do just that. Back in here, 3 wide. Matt Dalio a little upset about losing the lead there on the pit lane, and he wants to try to claw his way through the field and take it back. 3 wide to the inside of Jordan Carter and Andrew Miller. And the 79 is going to get 2 for 1 right there and go to the 7th position here at Richmond.
Just killed 2 birds with 1 stone with that move. Now he'll set his sights on Sill. So you can see Alonso. He's right on the back of the 34.
Yeah, Alonso's going just as fast as everybody else here, so that definitely is going to throw a monkey wrench into the plans of Brad Stover. He wants to get around him here. But Stover got around Justin Knight, and he's still going for his first career Chick-fil-A Cup Series win. He came oh so close at Texas. But the good thing for Stover right now is, the way they are currently running, he would retake the points lead back from John Stewart. So that's good for the Titan Fury Motorsports driver of Brad Stover. Juan Garcia for Durek Motor Racing. That team has had a struggle so far this season. But good run going for the rookie driver here to the inside of Justin Knight. And like you said, Cody Sill right there. Matt Dalio got around Cameron Garlington, so Dalio's up to the 6th position. He's moved up 4 places since the restart in that 79, so great run for the veteran driver there. But Walpole hanging out front right now in the 34, and he's got Alonso in between him and Stover, so that's exactly what the 34 wants to see here. He wants to keep that 40 in between him and the 99, and he's doing a pretty good job of it right now. Cody Sill got around Justin Knight here, trying to get around Juan Garcia. Juan Garcia blocking him down the front stretch, and trying to hold on to 3rd.
As we have some great battles going on. Whoa, Sill just got a little loose off of Garcia. Fortunately, he did save it, but as I was saying, we got a couple of great battles here. We got Justin Knight, Andrew Miller, and Matt Dalio all fighting for that, that 4th position.
5th right now for the 79 of Matt Dalio. 3rd changing hands with Cody Sill and Juan Garcia. Miller to the inside of Matt Dalio, and Miller's got a fast race car in the number 7. And he's just driving right by the veteran driver right there, so great move by Andrew Miller, moving up to the 5th position. Oh, look now, here comes Nathan Stapleton, slowly moving his way through the field in the 54. He is 8th right now, with Patrick Smith and Julio Caesar. The top 10, Tristan Allen, Trey Barta, they started in the 6th row for this race, 11th and 12th. Well, they're 11th and 12th right now, so not too bad for those guys so far on this one. Cameron Garlington is falling way back in the 13. He started, or restarted, I should say, 2nd. He's now outside the top 10, losing 13th to Nicholas Samadillo. Here's our last winner, Daniel McMillan on Jordan Carter.
Yeah, and Carter, he's going to the outside. Probably not going to work for him, so...
It's not working for Cameron Garlington either. He continues to lose positions in that number 13. Bartow getting around Tristan Allen, I should say. Nicholas Samadillo back in here as well. Samadillo almost got the win at California, but since then it's been a tough season for this Ideal Motorsports driver. But his teammates doing pretty good right now. Andrew Miller up to 7th, but Dalio got back around him, and so did Justin Knight. So these guys are now in lap traffic. And got a battle right now going for the 2nd position between Cody Sill and Brad Stover.
Yeah, and
there goes Sill right to the inside. Stover got stuck behind Ace Garcia, and Sill took the position right away from him. So Cody Sill now up to 2nd as Aaron Walpole got around all those slow cars, and he has a clean racetrack in front of him.
Yeah, we did see John Art. He is catching him. I believe. Oh, yep. Oh, no, he's on the back straightaway.
Yeah, he's quite a ways ahead. So, Alonso, even though he is a lap down, or 2 laps down, I should say, he's still going just as fast as these guys. So, going pretty well, all things considered.
Right, but he is still being used as a pick by the 34, as he is blocking the 37 from gaining any ground.
Yeah, that's the good news for Aaron Walpole. Now, Alonso is just as fast as Cody Sill and Brad Stover and these guys. How about Matt Dalio up to the 4th now in the 79? He restarted in the 10th position. He's moved his way up to 4th. 6 positions since the restart. Great run for the 79. And you see Nathan Stapleton up to 7th. Trey Bartow in the top 10. He's clawing his way through the field here to the inside of Julio Caesar for 9th. So Bartow and Dalio are 2 guys who are moving up through the field. And Dalio's looking to take 3rd from Brad Stover here. I'm telling you, if we get another caution, Dalio's going to have a great chance of winning this race. And even if we don't get another caution, because he's only 2 seconds behind at this point, he could easily close in, get to Aaron Walpole, and get a good pit stop next time. Maybe not a slow one like his first one, and he could possibly be battling for this win in this one. How he won his last race was on pit strategy. He came down before anybody else and undercut to get the lead away from, it was Colin Driver at the time, and he was able to move his way through the field by undercutting the whole entire race. So Matt Dalio might want to try that strategy here tonight and possibly get an advantage on the 34. We're just going to have to see how it all goes down, though. Walpole has, no question, been the guy to beat here tonight at Richmond, and since he took the lead, he has led a majority of this race here in the Norfolk Southern 400.
He has just been dominating this race. And hopefully, if if he doesn't have a bad pit stop, we do have one more set of pit stops to go. If we don't have multiple cautions. But if he doesn't mess up on that pit stop, he should be smooth sailing from there.
He definitely should be, and it's looking pretty clean out there right now. So looking like we might only end up with 2 cautions in this race. So hopefully that'll be the case, and we can race this thing out to the end. But there are some guys who want a caution, like Cody Sill, like Matt Dalio. They want to close right back in on the 34, get Alonso out of their way for one thing, hopefully. How about Juan Garcia to the inside of Matt Dalio? That is for 3rd. Garcia's also been moving his way through the field very well, and with about 21 laps to go, he's going to take 3rd away from the 79.
I haven't talked a whole lot about Juan Garcia lately. He's been pretty quiet this season, but this race he seems to be, in the past couple of races, he's had consistent runs. Just hasn't had that one spark of a win to just jumpstart a season.
Of course, considering it's his rookie season, you know, how much do you expect in your first season? Of course, Brad Stover right now would be the points leader the way we're currently running, and he's a rookie. But Juan Garcia, don't believe he ever ran before on Napa Fan. Up into this race, or up into this season, I should say. Oh boy, all over the place today, guys, like I always am. Just bear with me. But Juan Garcia, I mean, he hasn't raced too much on Napa Fan, and this is a very good run for him nonetheless, battling with one of the best on Napa Fan, that Matt Dalio in the 79, taking 3rd back from him. They're really not closing in on Aaron Walpole. Cody still might be closing in slightly, but I think this whole race is going to come down to the final set of pit stops, which will be coming here shortly. Because the last time they came down was under that caution was about lap 33 or so.
Yeah, so probably within
about 30
the next
laps.
10 laps, I'd say.
And if they've done about 30 laps now, I say we got about 10 laps to go until we get the next cycle going. That's going to be really close to the end of this race, so this could get very interesting here at Richmond to see who gets this win. Andrew Miller to the inside of Brad Stover for 5th, and we might actually be seeing the pit stops begin now. Richard King or John Art down the pit lane.
Trying to play some strategy game there. King Hart, our pole sitter.
We got Matt Dalio, Daniel McMillan and Trey Bartow down, so they are beginning. And for Bartow and McMillan, that might help them out because the undercut strategy might work out pretty well here. It didn't work out too well in the IndyCar race, I will say that yesterday. They tried to do so. The caution came out right when they did so, and they didn't really finish too well. But I don't think we're going to end up with a caution right when these pit stops are beginning. I think this is going to stay green to the end, so it's on from here. Now, of course, Trey Bartow and Daniel McMillan will hope now that a caution does not come out, because they're going to be put 2 laps down right here as Walpole drives by him. Walpole's closed back in on Christian Vargas. We'll see if the 34 comes down anytime soon. Not coming down yet. Neither is Dalio or any of these guys, and I think these guys who came down might just be on a little bit of a different strategy. I mean, this is looking like a really long green flag run of pit stops here. Consistently seeing guys come down. You see Roger Ray, Alexander Rowe down the pit lane. And we're just going to check in on Walpole and see when he comes down. But none of these guys are coming down yet, so they're trying to race this thing out here, trying to keep that 4 couple laps down, give them as give him as less time as possible to close in on these leaders here. We're just gonna have to see how this whole strategy works out.
Yeah, as you can see, that 40 car Alonso, he came back out on the racetrack in front of the 34. So
Brad Stover's coming down.
Oh.
Patrick Smith is coming down. But they are taking a while to get this cycle completed here, so this is very interesting. Aaron Walpole staying out quite a bit. You see Nathan Staplin's also down. Trey Bartow hoping Walpole's coming down this time. He is. Cody Sill down the pit lane. Matt Dalio will inherit the lead. So Dalio trying to stay out longer than anybody else. I don't know if it's going to be a good strategy or not, however. See Nathan Staplin alongside Daniel McMillan. Trey Bartow, I believe, is right now the highest guy who has already made his 2nd pit stop in this race. So we're going to compare him with the rest of the field as they come down here. There's Matt Dalio. He's going to make his last stop of the race. Juan Garcia, Justin Knight. I think all of these guys have already made pit stops. No, Julio Cesar is yet to make a stop in the 95.
This could work out for Cesar. Of course, like we can't have a rain delay like what happened.
But we
with
could
Richmond.
have a caution, and that might just be the determining factor onto who gets this win. Walpole and Sill side by side off the pit lane.
That was close.
And you're going to see Aaron Walpole try to hold on to this lead. There's Trey Bartow. And he's going to gain a lot of positions in the number 4 after that one. But Cody Sill is much closer to the 34 than it was earlier on. How about... Oh, caution's out!
Oh,
Caution is out here at Richmond.
That changes everything.
Matt Dalio trying to get out ahead of Aaron Walpole. Will not do so off the pit lane, but he might.
He is.
Oh, and he's on the lead lap as well, I think. Oh, boy. Julio Cesar making his pit stop. I think everybody has completed their stops. But
Yeah, I think.
who's on the lead lap and who's not? This is crazy. I don't know who it's going to be. Oh, boy.
No.
And that's it for Caesar. He just took himself out. He took out any possible chance of winning this race out.
That was.
That is
Not sure what he
unfortunate.
was doing there. Oh well, he just killed his
He
car.
was trying to get back to the lead, and he was going way too fast. And when you go that fast, you're just not following the rules, man. That's just not how it works. But anyways, it's back in there, and John Stewart is the leader of this race in the 04 right now. As that whole thing cycled to him being the leader, the Las Vegas winner from earlier this season, trying to get this win. Joe Rutkowski is second, trying to sweep the weekend. How about this for the 85? He got the win at Richmond in the Turkey Hill Series on Wednesday night. He is right now in the second position. How about Juan Garcia? He's still on the lead lap. Matt Delia was able to benefit from that because he was one of the last guys to come down. All those guys who stayed out, they were able to stay on the lead lap, and this is exactly what we saw in the IndyCar race last night. We saw those guys try to undercut, and the caution came out right in between those green flag pit stops, and it caught a lot of those guys a lap down. Or, should I say, on the tail end of the lead lap. And that's what happened here. Aaron Walpole, Cody Sill on the tail end of the lead lap. And we don't have a wave around here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. And it's just the result of that one. Now, this is going to be a tough one for anybody but John Stewart to win, because Christian Vargas is ahead of the rest of the field here, who are on the lead lap. And maybe Vargas will come down the pit lane and give way to the leaders, but I don't think that's going to be the case. So it's looking really good for the 04. I mean, why should Vargas do so? He wants his teammate to get the win. He wants to hold those guys up. But this is a very interesting scenario, and those pit stops coming out at the wrong time for Aaron Walpole and Cody Sill. They'll probably still get good finishes, but they won't be the winners here today at Richmond. So let's go ahead and see what happened to bring up the caution that's going to cause this madness here in the Norfolk Southern 400. Well, Daniel McMillan had already made his pit stop and was trying to chase down Trey Bartow. Andrew Miller, coming off the pit lane, does not make a clean entrance onto the racetrack and clips the 75 just barely, sending the Hers Dodge into the outside wall. It's a tough break for our last winner here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Got the win at Rockingham last week. It's not going to be 2 in a row for the 75.
Yeah, you can see this changes everything. Not sure what Miller was doing there. Or McMillan. It was probably a joint fault for them.
Yeah,
But
probably
it ends
was.
up changing the entire complex for the race. Alexander Rowe, a close call right there.
Yeah, Tristan Allen, they almost ran into that pit road wall there, but fortunately they didn't. The tough break for Daniel McMillan here at Richmond.
You can see Miller comes up and unfortunately makes a little bit of contact with McMillan, but that's just enough to send him into the turn 3 wall. And Alexander Rowe came very close to hitting that 75. And this changes the entire complexity of this race.
It definitely does, and you're going to see Rutkowski's on the pit lane here. And Julio Cesar would be the leader of this race if he did not completely disregard the rules and run into everybody. He was going too fast, and because of his speed, he ended up wrecking his race car. And you're going to see it here from the 95. This is just the kind of move that takes you out in these kinds of situations. Don't really know what he was thinking. He ran to his teammate, Jonathan Wong, right there, and then right in the blink. He's There's not
And
many
Wong is like shaking
other
his
people you
head.
can blame except for Julio Cesar in that one. And you see John Stewart driving by, looking to get his second win of the season and extend his points lead. For the longest time, it appeared that it was going to be Brad Stover taking the points lead in this race. But now John Stewart's in the position to get the win. So it's going to be interesting to see where he falls in line here at Richmond. It's going to be just a few laps to go. Will Joe Rutkowski go 2 for 2 this weekend here at Richmond? Or will the rookie Juan Garcia get it done, or the veteran of Matt Dalio? We're just going to have to see when we restart here in the Norfolk Southern 400 at Richmond. We are back here at the Richmond International Raceway, and it's going to be crazy here for this one. A lot of these guys, maybe with the exception of Matt Dalio and Juan Garcia, were not even running up front in this one. It is John Stewart who finds himself in the lead with a couple of lapped cars in between him and second place Joe Rutkowski. And it's Juan Garcia, Matt Dalio, Justin Knight. The green flag back in the air here at Richmond. And a great jump by John Stewart. They're all log-jammed behind Christian Vargas. Matt Dalio, nowhere to go in the 79. That's a tough one for him as John Stewart pulls away in the 04. Going around, back in there, that's going to end it. Vargas got spun around, back in the field. And the 04 of John Stewart is going to come across the line. That should do it. And this is one that I don't think John Stewart expected. But only unless he crashes here, which is possible he might. They're all over the place here. He's got to keep it clean here. He's got to keep it clean and make sure he doesn't run into anybody.
No.
And as long as he does that, he will get the win here at Richmond.
As they'll come around.
And that'll do it. So it's John Stewart, Juan Garcia, Diego Yepes, Joe Rutkowski, and Justin Knight. 5 rookies in the top 5 to finish this one out here at Richmond. How about that? But it's going to be our second driver this season winning multiple races. John Stewart got the win at Las Vegas. He's the points leader coming into this race. And he's also going to come home with the victory here tonight in the Norfolk Southern 400 after a wacky race here that ended. That caution coming out right during those green flag pit stops. It messed things up. It was going to be Aaron Walpole who was going to get the win. But it just didn't quite happen that way. And it's going to be the 04 taking home the victory.
If it is they'll come around to get the white flag. I believe I should not jinx it this time. The 04 is going to win.
Yep. But John Stewart came into this race the points leader. He is going to extend his points lead over Brad Stover and the rest of the field. And like you said, white flag here at Richmond under caution, if I'm not mistaken. This is the first race this season that will end under caution in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. So,
yeah, I believe this is...
So an interesting little fact right there. But, I think this is kind of one that needs to end. It's been a little bit crazy here today. And it does appear that it's going to be John Stewart coming home with the victory.
Yep. So, not sure John Stewart expected this to happen when he woke up, but...
He'd sure be glad it did happen. So off of turn number 4, the 04 of John Stewart will get his second win of the season here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. He wins the Norfolk Southern 400 at Richmond.
Chaotic but fun. It's one way to describe these final 10 laps.
Definitely a very fascinating event here at Richmond, and it's kind of unfortunate for Aaron Walpole. He had a very good chance at getting this win, but got caught on the wrong strategy with everybody else, and he's going to end up finishing 8th with Cody Sill, Trey Bartow rounding out the top 10 back in there, Matt Dalio, Jay Jefferson. And so this is very fascinating. Top 5 are all rookies. Next 5 are all veterans. Quite a wacky finish here for the Norfolk Southern 400, but there you go. The finishing results, great rebound for Diego Yepes after he wrecked at Rockingham, I do believe. And how about Joe Rutkowski? He came close to winning this race as well. He got the win in the Turkey Hill Series on Wednesday and came close to getting the win here today. Just couldn't quite do it, but still a great run for the uncharted driver. And Justin Knight, I believe that's his best finish of the season in the number 35, finishing ahead of Matt Dalio, Jay Jefferson, Aaron Walpole, Cody Sill, and Trey Bartow. But anyways, thank you guys very much for watching this one. We'll take a look at the rest of the results right here. Only 2 guys, after all of that jazz, only 2 guys failed to finish here today. That being Christian Vargas and Julio Caesar. And remember, Caesar, he could have easily won this race, but during that third caution, he ended up running right into some lap traffic. He was going way too fast under the caution, and it ended up costing him the win, finishing last here today because of that mistake. So that's a tough break for Julio Caesar. And Christian Vargas as well. He saw all the issues that he had. He got spun around there at the end to bring out the caution. It ended the race early. But I think it was good for John Stewart because he might not necessarily gotten the win. He could have gotten stuck on the outside there on those final few laps. And fortunately for him, the caution came out, and he comes home the winner here at Richmond. A little crazy. We're still trying to figure this whole thing out here, but it's the way it goes. I mean, but how about the rookies? I mean, top 5 all rookies here today. Now, a lot of that has to do with the way those pit stops were run. That last set of pit stops took quite a while to get through, and because of that, those guys who stayed out later ended up benefiting from it.
Yeah, so it does go to show that pit strategy does play an important factor on like these short tracks, and it ultimately ended up benefiting John Stewart. He picked the right strategy, and he gets to pick up his trophy. So
definitely does. Second win of the season for the rookie driver and the points leader, and he gets it done here in the Norfolk Southern 400 at Richmond. Next weekend, it's Talladega for the Mountain Dew Kickstart 500. And it's going to be a 38-lap race around the Talladega Super Speedway, and that's going to be anybody's game. Now, pit strategy won't be an issue in that one because we don't have pit stops on the Super Speedways. But I will say it's going to be a very entertaining race next weekend for the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Race 10 of the season. After next week's race, we're going to be halfway through the regular season, and it's on to the race to the chase. And it's going to be very interesting to see who gets into the chase for this season. But we're only 9 races in. Still have 21 more to go before we crown a champion, and there's a lot of great racing coming up here on the Napa Fan Channel throughout the spring and summer for the Chick-fil-A Cup Series Season 7. But anyways, thank you guys very much for watching. Congratulations to John Stewart for getting the win here at Richmond. On behalf of Trey Wright, thank you guys very much for watching once again, and I will see you guys later.
We changed it up, 'cause I'm hearing that same sound, different mouth. I'm hearing that new sound coming out. Oh, we're beyond limitation. No, we're not limitation. Open your eyes, open your eyes. It's a new conversation for a new same sound. I'm wanting that new sound, 'cause I'm hearing that same sound. I'm wanting that new sound.